our lovely Melanie, our agent services coordinator, is now a real estate agent here with us with the Waldman Group and Pam Waldman. So congratulations, Melanie. And Austin, Bean, has moved into our agent services role. So you're going to do much more than hiding behind the screen. So
I probably have a place where I have a camera, so you guys can actually see my live face instead of the black and white static one.
Right, people know you really exist, not just.
Yeah, no, seriously, I'm not some phantom. But yeah, so let me just go over real quick the week that we have. So today, of course, we have our office meeting, and we have Jeff and Dave from Lenshore. They're going to share some information with us about the non-QM products they provide. They're going to take over a little bit of the time, but we do also have Dwight that's on. He's going to be talking about the Altos report, and then Morgan's going to mention some things about her products and she's going to share some information. Let's see, actually, I think I have it. I'm not going to, of course, share it, but she has her creative services. She has a presentation she wants to provide. And so we'll spend some time with that. Tomorrow is a pretty busy day. We do have Tanya and Chantel back. Last week we didn't have anything. So this week will be a nice back to the regular pace. So we have Tanya's in command class at 10. She'll be going over this new Keller Mortgage and Kelly Covered web page that you can add to your website. And so definitely jump on there if you're wanting to add more to your website and make it more client friendly and a one-stop shop for your clients and people interested in finding an agent. We also do have a CE credit class that is provided by Lawyers Title. Richard Mario is going to be speaking at that. And then we have a transaction overview, writing a sale, one of Chantel's best hits, I guess you can call it. She does this once in a while, once a month or so, but for new agents, especially if you haven't had that, jump onto there and then learn some more from her. But yeah, so that's what we have going. Oh, and I guess that's a good segue. Up here, we do have Mega Camp information, and I will actually share a different photo. Let's see if we have, yeah, there we go. So Mega Camp is starting in a few weeks, September 14th through the 17th. So what is that, 1, 2, 3, is that 4 days? Of a digital experience. So they used, instead of having it typically in Austin, Texas, like they've had in the past, it's going to be all digital. It'll be actually pretty cool. I have some more information I do want to share from their website, because there's some really cool features that are going to be added to this particular experience that they weren't able to capitalize in the past. But the general admission is $119, but we do have a promotion going on in our office that if you invite an agent from outside this brokerage, we will pay for both of your tickets. So that's a great incentive that if you have a friend or someone who's wanting to get into the industry, this is a great opportunity for you to get both you and them into a really cool experience, to learn a lot and have this experience catered towards what you are looking for. And what I mean by that, and I do want to show you the actual site, you can all see it. We have the megacamp.kw.com. This is where you can register here and select the general admissions, but they do have some really cool experiences that they show up right here. So one of the things that I wanted to point out was this curate your experience. So they have this dashboard that'll be catered directly to what you are wanting to learn about. So whether you're wanting to go into, like it says here, leads, listings, leverage, luxury, commercial, whatever you're focusing on, you can curate your experience and your dashboard and have your agenda for what you're wanting to jump into all laid out for yourself and specific and personalized for you. So it's a really cool, and they also are going to have a big emphasis on referrals. So you can create a little profile of yourself and you can reach out and network with agents around the country to help, with your referral base. Yeah, so I thought that was really cool. And so if you're interested, reach out to me. We can get that situated and make sure that we can pay for that general admission for you and your friend.
Awesome. Thank you, Austin. And yeah, so Mega Camp, Gary Keller is going to kick it off the first day. And we'll actually have running in the office, probably in the large training room that can hold, I think, up to 25 people safely. We're just kind of throwing around ideas of bringing in breakfast or something like that to make that an event. So even people who aren't necessarily signed up for the full Mega Camp experience can watch that portion of it. And Gary Keller is going to be on stage giving his economic forecast with a few of the top economists in the country. So it should be a really good outlook of what to expect in our crazy, uncertain world right now as far as the future. So that should be a great kickoff piece. And then, like Austin said, all the different breakouts. You get whatever you want. And, you know, there's so many different directions to go. And invite your friends, and then we'll buy both your tickets. So that's exciting too. So if you have that, if you have a guest and yourself, let us know, let Austin know, and we'll just get you guys both registered and pay for it. And if you've already bought a ticket and want to pay for, or want to find a guest, then we'll reimburse you for your ticket. So a guest that's another agent at another brokerage.
And another good point, they do have it as a pop-up once in a while. I couldn't replicate it because it happened once and then it was gone. I exited out and I feel bad. But there's a little promo thing that if you sign up before September 2nd, so before tomorrow, so if you let me know today or tomorrow, you get signed into a sweepstakes to win between $500 and $2,000. So it's a cool little thing. So you could go for free, and then you could also put into a sweepstakes to get $2,000. So it's kind of cool, just as a little incentive for people to sign up early and get your spot. So.
Yeah, and the reason we're so excited about this is because this is the way we set ourselves up for the rest of the year, right? Like this is our kind of, the market's still going, we all still have some momentum, so let's build it up as much as we can and keep that going throughout the end of the year. So it's really good timing. It's not just a Zoom. I mean, the thought of going on a Zoom call for 3 days, like, I mean, nobody wants to do that, right? This is not that. This is a very interactive, you know, you're going to specific things that you choose. They use the specific platform for this. It's not Zoom, that's, you know, made for digital conferences. So it should be a really good experience.
And all the guest speakers were given the challenge by Gary before they got on. The only way they could get on and talk is if they could tell him something he didn't already know. We're talking about Gary Keller here, so that was a pretty lofty challenge. So there's going to be some really amazing information.
Yeah, right. That's cool. Things that are Gary Keller doesn't even know. So awesome. If you have questions, reach out to Austin too, and he will be your go-to on that. All right. So we have some special guests today. So first, let's actually hear from Morgan Tyre, who, you know, we've heard from a lot of agents that, you know, having more services available within our office would be helpful, you know, so we're trying to partner with more, like Morgan for some marketing services that she'll be able to talk about, and some transaction coordinators, so that if you guys want to utilize their services, you can, you know, you're still paying them directly. At this point, we'll see how much, you know, how busy they get, right? But we want to have those services easily available for you guys if you want them. We've also heard that some people, you know, don't want to take all the time to make their own marketing in command. They just want it easy. So Morgan, thanks for joining us. Take it away.
Thank you. Austin, is it okay if I share my screen?
Yeah, you're good. I should have it enabled for you to do so.
Thank you. All right, so if you have not met me before, my name is Morgan. I am actually Heather's daughter, and I've been working here at Keller Williams for a little over 3 years now. I started as a staff member, and then I went ahead and worked for a team as well as a solo agent. I've been a listing coordinator, an executive assistant, and a transaction coordinator. I have recently started my own business called Morgie Creative Services, and my goal is to make marketing simple for you. So here's a little bit about me. I'm super creatively inclined. Some of my hobbies include painting, digital art, reading, movies, and much more. I'm very detail-oriented as well as highly organized, and it's actually really hard to find someone that's creative and has those qualities. So I like to consider myself a little bit of a unicorn. And a little fun fact about the name Morgie, that is a nickname my sister gave me growing up, and it fits well with my corgi obsession. I've got an updated headshot on the way that features my lovely little corgi named Sherlock. I've got pictures in my office in case anybody wants to come look at them. All right, so I kind of wanted to put this into perspective, the importance of leveraging your time. Let's see if I can minimize this box here. There we go. All right, so how long does it take you guys to create the marketing materials for your listings? Feel free to chime in. I want some feedback. No? Nobody? All right. So,
Too long.
too long, that's a good answer. Some other answers I've heard is an hour, a couple hours to put together all of my marketing. How long does it take you to make a creative social media post for your Instagram or your Facebook? Do you struggle staring there at your phone? Oh my gosh, what picture do I post? What caption? What hashtags do I use? Do I tag the restaurant that I'm sitting at with my family? I don't know. So a lot of that can take a lot of time, especially if that's not something that you're naturally inclined to. Some people just don't like using technology. It's totally normal. So how long does a listing appointment take you? You're sitting down with a new client, you have your paperwork, you've got all your stuff laid out already. How long is that appointment? Usually about an hour, I want to say, sometimes 30 minutes. So if you're spending an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours just making marketing for something, that's 1, 2, 3 appointments that could be generating you a large commission down the road. So try and put it into that train of thought as you're thinking about these things as you plan out your day. So there is another reason to hire a talented professional besides just saving time. I'm going to go over some bad marketing examples that I found on Google, bad real estate marketing. And I'll kind of go over why they're bad if it's not obvious as well. So here they are, a little chaotic. The one here on the left, it is an open house flyer that only shows the front of the house. It's got some writing about somebody being there manning a smoker and there's going to be food served. But overall, it's kind of a boring flyer. If this got left on my doorstep, I don't think I'd go to the open house. I'd probably just toss this. Same thing with this flyer. It's a printout from RMLS. This is probably an older flyer. You don't want to have this in your listing. Even if people aren't taking flyers right now, you still want to have some there to be nice and professional. Even if your favorite color is orange and your logo includes some flowers, you don't want to have a busy background like this. It's a little bit of an eyesore. This open house flyer here, it's got all the info, photos, logo, headshot, everything that's needed for an open house flyer, but it's boring. Same thing, if that's left on my doorstep and I didn't answer, I'm just going to toss that. I'm not going to take a second look at it. And finally, this postcard, yes, it is a nice and professional postcard, but there's too many fonts, too many colors. It looks disorganized. Your first look at it, you don't know what to focus on. So these are some things that are super common in marketing that you want to avoid. There is psychology behind marketing as well. Things from shapes to placement to color to what kinds of fonts you use. There's a psychology behind it, what's pleasing to someone, what they're going to pick up, and what's going to stick with them. So I'll go over a quick exercise here. When you think of the color red, what do you think of?
Blood? No, all the brains. I was just thinking blood.
Urgency.
Aggression.
Urgency, okay.
Apples.
Apples, got it. One thing I think of is KW, just because I'm surrounded by red. I've got 2 red chairs in here, by the way. So those are some things you think of: attention getting, anger, Stop signs. If you have just the shape of that red stop sign with no writing on it, you're gonna stop because it's attention getting. So I'm gonna go over a piece of marketing that uses red, but it's not necessarily a good piece of marketing with red. Here it is. This is another one that I found on Google. I showed this to my significant other who is not in real estate. He looked at this and said it looks like a used car ad. That is not what you want to sell. Even if this house is from the 20s and it's been lived in, it's been used, you don't want to say, we know what's best for you. You don't want to have a big number in red like this. It's just not as pleasing. It's not as professional when you want to project professionalism. So that's why you don't want to do something like this if you're going for red. But it did have that attention getting red. So here are some examples of marketing that I have made using the color red. They're organized, they're much nicer, they're pleasing to the eye, they don't use too many fonts, it's not as in your face as that previous one, it says professionalism, it doesn't say used car. So I've got a flyer, postcard, business card, and email signature. They all follow the same theme. When you start to use the same fonts, shapes, and colors, as well as similar layouts, you start to build a brand recognition, which is fantastic for your business, especially if it's on a sign and people see this everywhere. So these are some marketing tips that I have for you guys as far as psychology goes and what I'm doing. I am creating a whole bunch of different services. I've got templates for flyers, perma flyers, postcards, email signatures, business cards, social media posts, and I can even run social media posts in command. That is another benefit to what I'm doing, is not just designing this listing marketing or a newsletter about restaurants in Portland or upcoming pumpkin patches for October. I also know how to use command. Here's some things that I offer centered around command. If you're a new agent, moving over your database for you. Moving companies is super stressful, especially if you've come from another brokerage or you're just starting out and maybe your database is from your phone. You're a little lost and confused. You've got so much to do. Hire somebody to help you with it. It can help you get organized up front. And that's something that I'll offer for you. Assigning groups of contacts to smart plans, creating a short-term smart plan for following up with an open house lead or an internet lead, tagging your database, and then again, creating and running a Facebook and Instagram ad for your listing, KW app or open house, whatever it is. Some other digital services is logo creation. I can do that, not necessarily a big logo for a banner, but a small logo that you can use on your marketing, your business card, flyers, even a sign, as well as I can remove backgrounds from headshot photos so you don't have to worry about using Photoshop. And I also offer some consulting services. I'll take a look at your current marketing, the colors, layout, talk about your mission, your success, and help you rebrand it or start from square one and help you with some listing presentations and what you want to look like for your clients. Organized follow-up. What's going to work for you? How many times do you want to follow up with a lead before you drop them? How many times do you want to follow up with a hot buyer lead that's ready to buy right now? Is it every day for the first week? Email, texting, calling, Facebook message, whatever it is, I can help you get organized. I've got other services coming soon that I'm working on, such as the newsletter, templates and how to get them sent out easily, door hangers, sign design, landing pages in KW, as well as I'm working on making an easy online ordering system and more. What you need, let me know. If it's something you think I can do, come talk to me. I'll see what I can do for you. I'm very creative and organized, like I said before, and I love to help people. And here's my contact info in case you'd like to reach out at any time. I've got an office on the way to the kitchen.
Thank you so much, Morgan.
Thank you.
Great presentation. And yes, we're excited for our agents to be able to utilize your services. So Morgan, will you also maybe pop your contact info into the chat just so people have time to take it down? But again, you can stop in and see Morgan here. There's some flyers for Morgie Creative Services, or reach out to her and she can help you out.
Perfect. Thank you guys so much.
Thanks so much, Morgan.
How do I stop the
job.
screen share?
I got you.
Thanks, Austin. I couldn't find the button.
Awesome. All right. So next we have some lending news, and Josh from Academy was nice enough to invite his friends, David and Jeff, from one of their partners from Lenshore, who they work with non-QM mortgages. So Josh, you want to pop off mute and say hello to everyone and give a little introduction?
You bet. I don't have my video on. I'm out camping, so my internet connection isn't great. But I appreciate you making time to include David and Jeff to come on and talk about Lenshore and non-QM sort of in general as well. We've worked with these guys a lot of times, and they've got a solid team and a lot of great out-of-the-box solutions. So as you're folks are listening in, think of questions that in scenarios that maybe you've had in the past, and these guys can probably help provide some insights. Anyway, I'll turn it over to Jeff and David from Lenshore. Thanks.
Thanks, Josh.
Thanks, Josh. Can you guys hear me now through my phone? Is that better?
Yes, much better.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. And then, Austin, can you help me share my screen?
Yeah, so you should be able to see on your computer at the bottom, there should be a bar that has a green button that says share screen.
Okay, let me.
There we go.
Got it.
Perfect. We can see it.
So are you guys on the agenda page or the? I'm trying to see
We
what,
can see your whole screen right now, like the slides on the left and the main
Yeah.
slide.
okay, so maybe.
You'll just want to start the show. Yeah. If you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I apologize. So I started the show, but it's on my other screen. I'm just not sure how to flip it over to the other side.
You can either go in and reshare the other screen, or you can drag it over onto this screen. It does get a little tricky. Okay, there we go.
There we go. It's on the bank statement program screen, Jeff.
Right. I try to get back to the beginning. I probably apologize.
There we go.
Okay. I think
Technology.
we got it. All right. Okay. So yeah, first of all, yeah, welcome. Thanks for giving us the time to talk.
Yeah,
as
appreciate
Josh
it.
mentioned, my name is Jeff Rosati. I'm the regional sales manager for Lenshore Mortgage Corporation. Been in the business roughly 20 plus years. Started out up in Portland up there, so I'm definitely familiar with the area and Keller Williams' name. And so I'll turn it over to Dave. He can introduce himself, and then we'll just kind of run through the agenda and kind of give you guys some highlights on product that we offer.
My name is Dave Sliker. I'm been with Lenshore for a couple years now, but I've been, like Jeff, I've been in the business for 24 plus years. Different roles as sales and underwriting, so I know how to put loans together. And I've worked with Josh and the folks at Academy for for quite a while, so closing some loans. And I will turn it back over to Jeff to kind of do a rundown of our non-QM products and highlights of what we can do for you guys.
Perfect. Yeah, so we'll just have one slide about LendSure, who we are, but really the main topics today are just to educate you guys on what programs are out there and available to your clients, to hopefully give you guys a broader spectrum of people that you can actually get into houses. So we're going to educate on different loan types, including our bank statements, programs, our investment properties, foreign, national, and then some additional opportunities that we offer for you, and then we'll open up for questions and answers after that. So a little bit about LendSure. We were founded in 2015 in the non-QM space. We're headquartered in San Diego. We've been taking loans to market since 2017. Our team is highly experienced. You know, Dave and myself will take care of any clients you send over to Josh, but we were all part of accredited home lenders back through the subprime days. And so, you know, that company was very successful. We were probably one of the top 5 on subprime wholesalers in the country. We were closing our best months were $1.5 billion a month. So very experienced in the market space, and we're licensed in 41 states. So a little bit about product and kind of how it can benefit you guys. So about 65% of our business is bank statement loans. And so it's basically those self-employed borrowers that don't show enough income on their tax returns that we can help out. And some things that give you peace of mind, we do an upfront evaluation of the income. So, you know, if the client sends Josh the bank statements they send to us, we do a complete spread on those bank statements. So we know exactly what income we're qualifying that client for up front, as well as vetting that entire file to make sure that once you get a pre-qualification letter, that's already been approved. It's been signed off by our senior staff if there's any exceptions. So you have peace of mind going through the process with that client that it's not going to fall out at the 11th hour because everything's been identified up front. We are a little unique in that we do not, like a lot of other lenders have, like a haircut that they take immediately 50% of the income on those bank statements that will not qualify. They can only qualify with 50% of what's on those deposits on the statements. We do not use P&L statements. We don't ask for CPA letters. We have a questionnaire that the client answers about their company. So it's about 10 questions. And we have what we call a variable expense factor. So, you know, some of the realtors that are on the phone, like say you work out of your house, you don't have office space, we can typically get down to like a 10 to 15% expense factor and give you credit for 85 to 90% of those deposits. So that's unique in the marketplace, and that allows us to gather a lot more business than some of our competition because we can adjust those expenses down and give you credit for more income, give your clients credit for more income, and give them more buying power with that way we calculate that. We do these loans up to 85% LTV on bank statements. The borrower does not have to own 100% of the business. We can take ownership down to 25%. Obviously, we're only going to give them 25% of whatever income's on those bank statements. But again, they don't have to be 100% owner, where a lot of our competition, you have to be 100% owner. And then we will allow personal or business bank statements are acceptable on that product. So yeah, just jot down questions as we're going through it. We'll open up for answers at the end. So if you guys work with investors, we have investment property loans, obviously, so non-owner occupied. Some of the highlights of what we do there that can get you more business. We do not limit the number of properties an investor can own, whereas, you know, Fannie and Freddie, there's limitations. We can, if someone owns 200 properties, that's fine with us. We will finance up to 10 properties for any one investor. That's unique as well. There's, you know, some you know, caps on that with Fannie Freddie products. We'll allow DTIs up to 50%. We have rate buy down features that can, we can build that financing into the loan so we can get a low rate for that client without any out-of-pocket expenses. Again, full doc and bank statements are available on our investment products. And then this is probably our most popular investment product. It's an investor cash flow. And so it's really kind of a no ratio loan, what's kind of a stated income type loan, where all we need to cash flow on an investment property is the rents. As long as the rents are greater or equal to the principal, interest, tax, and insurance payment, that's all we need to cash flow that property. We don't ask for income documentation. If it's an investor that has multiple properties, we just ask that you complete a schedule of real estate. We are not going to ask for mortgage ratings on all those other properties or make you provide tax and insurance information. Just we take what's off the schedule of real estate and go with that. But we only use that rent amount, either a lease or what's on the 1007 on the appraisal, to cash flow that property. So that's a very popular product, very easy to use and easy to close. And then a really good selling point is we allow interest only option on that, and we can use that to calculate that ratio. So as long as that payment is equal to the rent, then we can cash flow that property. So that's a very popular product. Not sure if you guys run into this much, but we do have a foreign national product. So that's someone that is outside the country, has a visa from another country that we can, wants to buy property in the United States. We can do those loans up to 70 LTV. So it's an investment or a second home only product. Credit scores are not required. We just take foreign credit reports or credit reference letters if we can't get a translated foreign credit report. And then for income, we can accept like a foreign country CPA letter for income or a verification of employment from the actual employer. So we can kind of step around some different ways to calculate their income that way on a foreign national. And then we can use their foreign assets for reserves. But any down payment money has to be in a U.S. bank account. So that's kind of the foreign nationals, a high level of that. And then just some other opportunities that you can look for as you're talking to clients. We do non-warrantable condos. So you guys probably run into that quite often, I would guess. We do condo tells to 70% LTV. That's an investment product only. We will consider larger acreage properties. Our guidelines are 10 acres, but we will make exceptions to that depending on the profile of the client. And, hopefully it's a lower LTV, typically, 65 or lower on some of that larger acreage properties. But I can think of one we just closed a couple months ago in Bend. I think was on 40 acres, just outside of Bend, custom home. So be thinking of us for some of those types of products. We will allow 2 to 4 units in second homes. We do jumbo loans up to $3 million, and that includes our bank statement product. So I know jumbo money's been pretty tough in the market out there, but we will go to $3 million on that product, including bank statements. And then we have a really aggressive asset depletion and qualifier product. So if someone is out of work, but they have solid assets, which meaning 500,000 or more, we can take their assets and divide that by 60 months, and that's what we'd use for income to cash flow that property. So that's very aggressive in the marketplace. A lot of products out there, you divide the assets by the term of the loan, that might be 360, where we have a 60-month divisor to give them more credit or more income and more buying power. And then we do construction takeout loans. We probably close 2 of these a month, at least in my region. And we can do properties that are held in LLCs. And then we can reduce cash to close by financing costs into the loan. So we just build some of the fees into the LTV on the loan, and then that reduces what the borrower has to bring to close, especially on a purchase transaction. So if we were, let's say we're going to 80 LTV, at that we can usually stack a little more than 2%, financing that into the loan to either buy the rate down or pay for the closing costs, some of the lender closing costs, and then the borrower doesn't bring that much as much to the table. So just some unique things that we offer that way. One other thing that we kind of offer is some flyers, and I know there was just a presentation ahead of ours from Morgan that she offers this product as well. But we have a site that you can go to and just we have our product that are that we've talked about on there. Like this is for investors. And it gives kind of some bullet points as to what the product looks like. And you can basically go in there and add your logo and contact information to those flyers. And it's a service that we provide. So I can probably just send this presentation to you guys so you can get that website right there. But if you go to that website, you can get these access to those flyers and templates, all like email templates, just on our product. So if you're marketing to a certain niche product investors or a DSCR product, you can use these flyers to help market that. So that's pretty much it. I'll put up mine and Dave's contact information, but really, you know, the biggest thing is just to educate you guys that there's a lot of products out there that aren't just conforming, that we can hopefully capture some of your clients and fund some deals for you and you know, maybe make a easier sale for you down the road. So I'll just open it up at this point to Dave. Did I miss anything that you wanted to cover?
I just want to touch on the bank statement program. That's for 24 months of bank statements and now 12 months as well. So it's for the self-employed borrowers. Generally have to be self-employed at least 2 years, but we do make exceptions all the time. I think Jeff mentioned the exception process up front. That is a huge benefit with LendSure, because within 24 to 48 hours, even on exception files, you'll have a signed pre-approval in hand that enables the borrower to have a lot of buying power with that. Whereas some lenders just have a pre-approval letter. We're going, yeah, based on what you're telling us, you look like you qualify. We are actually getting it in front of the underwriter who is signing off on it up front. So that is a huge, huge benefit with LendSure. Because I'd say probably 60%, maybe even 70% of our loans are exceptions to our own guidelines. So we make exceptions all the time. So just wanted to point that out. Does anybody have any questions on any of the products or other things that we offer?
I have a question.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
How competitive are your rates, generally speaking, compared to the Freddie Mac and Fannie Mae products, would you say, generally?
You're definitely comparing apples to oranges there, because we're non-QM and they're QM, and so our lowest rate, our floor rate is 4.75, and so we're not going to be the lender that's going to be in the 2s and 3s, but we'll do stuff that they cannot get done, obviously, and that's why there's a huge niche with our company and others in our market sector. So if you're comparing rates, we're not a conforming rate. We're going to be, typically our rates are anywhere from high 4s to high 5s, somewhere in there would be our ballpark. I mean, we do have deals where if there's credit issues, we can get in the low to mid 6s, but that's kind of what you're looking at. So hopefully that answers your question.
No, that's great. I just want to make the point to the listeners that the Freddie Mac and Fannie Mae rates that the government is driving down are certainly amazing rates, but the rates that you're offering in the 4s and the 5s for the accommodations that you're making to qualify are still historic lows. And so, in the scheme of things,
Correct.
The interest rate is not as important as the purchase and the value of the purchase to the consumer. So I appreciate you saying that, because I want to make sure people know that that is not a bad rate. Historically, it's a great rate, probably the lowest rates you guys have ever worked with.
Yeah, absolutely. If you compare it to the subprime days, we were probably mid
8s and
6s to
9s.
mid 7s. Yeah. And so yeah, we definitely we've seen the rates continue to go lower every single month, and so yeah, we're very excited about where we're at in the marketplace and what we can offer.
And then the rates are a sliding scale depending on the loan to value you're going and the credit score. So obviously the lower the loan to value, the better the rates get, and the more likely we'll be to make exceptions on certain products and certain loans. So
do you guys have any financing that's like 10-year interest only, or anything that's creative interest only ARMs or anything like that?
we do.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Want to talk about it, Dave?
Yeah, I mean, we offer interest only basically on all of our products, and it could be a 30-year term or a 40-year term where it's fixed for like a 5-year. On the 30 years fixed, the interest only for 5 years, and on the 40-year, it's a 10-year interest only.
Wow.
Now on the Jeff, I think mentioned on the non-owner occupied programs, including the investor DSCR program, the net cash flow program, we qualify off of the start or the interest only payment on those products. And that's why that's so huge, because that'll get your buying power so much more on a non-owner for an investor DSCR loan when we're going off the interest only. And you can get the DSCR above 1, where if you're going off the standard principal and interest payment, you may not be able to be above that 1% level on the DSCR. On owner occupied, we do have to go off the principal and interest payment to qualify, or the fully indexed payment.
Great.
But yeah, that's a great product, a 10-year IO and then a 30-year AM after that. And so it's a 40-year product.
40-year term, yeah.
Yeah. So
That probably
very
keeps
aggressive.
the payments, that probably keeps the initial payments down somewhere closer to what the Freddie Mac and Fannie Mae rates would offer them with a normal 30-year AM principal and interest.
Yeah, their
That's a
actual
great
payments that
program.
they'll be paying. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Cool.
guys. Yeah, and so I mean, the real underlying point here is if you have a client that has a different money-making financial situation, you know, don't rule them out, right? So go talk to Josh from Academy, and he can loop in with these guys, and you know, help just think of some outside the box solutions for you know, that maybe wouldn't qualify traditionally.
Yeah, and it's not the old, you know, subprime days where it's just bad credit type loans. The majority of our loans are 700 plus credit scores with really good assets, but they just aren't showing the, you know, qualifying with the income traditional conforming methods.
Awesome. And just to confirm, right? So Josh, we contact you and like you connect when they would be a good fit. Is that correct?
Josh is gone.
Oh, Josh is gone.
Yeah,
That is correct.
Yeah. That's correct.
Yes, he's probably back to his campfire right now or something.
Right.
Okay, cool, guys. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate the
All right.
You bet.
Thanks for the
Thank
time.
you, guys. Appreciate the
Thank
time.
you.
All right, for the last part of our meeting today, we're gonna have Dwight just kind of buzz through what is going on in the market in Portland, because it changes, you know, fast right now, and it's important for us to be looking towards the future so that we can be the economist of choice for our clients. Dwight, it's all yours.
All right. Thank you. All right, Austin, cue it up. Okay. So for those of you that have been on the call through the summer, you know that the leadership at Portland Premier has been talking about our concerns about what's happening to the inventory in Portland. And you might remember that I posed a question probably last month, which is what happens if the inventory is at historic lows and we go into the winter and interest rates continue to drop, maybe into the low 2s, mid 2s, even under 2s. So I thought it was good timing, again, to show what's going on in some of the different communities in terms of inventory and how that is affecting pricing. So these conversations, these charts are the kinds of charts you have with someone that says, should I sell my home now, or should I wait until next year? Or a buyer that says, should I wait until next year? The market right now is truly amazing in many ways, but it's becoming difficult for realtors to find options. So as you know, I subscribe to Altos, and so I get my own formatted pages that I can pull up for any community. So if you look in the upper left there, I'm not sure what that is on the page, but it's branded to me at Keller Williams. And I start all of my listing presentations with the overview. So here's Lake Oswego, here's median price. The green line is the, right there, hang on. Oops. Let me just make sure I can get this figured out here. Oh, well. Yeah, I'm trying to use my highlighter, but for whatever reason, it's not.
I think it's because Austin's the one sharing his screen.
Well, I know, but that's what we've done before. So I'm not able to use the arrow that I want to use. So these are going to be a little squiggly, I guess, but they at least make the point. So my arrow is not working. So let's see if I can do an oval. Oh, can't do an oval either. Oh, interesting. Okay, I'll use my pen. So the green line, which I drew a line to here, is the 7-day average, right? So this is what's happening weekly in our MLS. And the blue line behind it is the 90-day average. So the blue line is not going to have the erratic ups and downs that the green line is. So if you can see the blue line, though, you can see that if we look back at the time we had earlier in the year, our median price actually was a little bit higher in Lake Oswego, and it dipped a little bit as we went into COVID, which we would all expect, and now it's coming back up, right? So with interest rates coming down, it's fairly likely to expect that these prices are going to go back up to an all-time high. So let's go to the next page. Okay, so looking down here, this is inventory in Lake Oswego. So we talked about this, and you'll see some pretty dramatic inventory changes as we look at some of the other cities around Portland. Looking at the inventory for Lake Oswego, if you look at 17, you look at October of 18, you look at October of 19, there's pretty consistent in the fall. Literally, we are faced with the highest inventory of the year, and look at where we are today for inventory. So if we went across to see exactly how many units that is, we're probably at 175 units in Lake Oswego. And if we take last year, we were at, say, 275, 40% more, probably. Okay, let's go to the next page. All right, so here's West Lynn. Oops, let me clear. Here's West Lynn. And if you see the median price, look what happened to the median price in October of 18, toward the end of the year at 18. Then they started buying the interest rates down in the first quarter of 19. And here's what happened with pricing in West Lynn during 2019, which was last year, as the rates were going lower and lower. And you can see the blue line dip from COVID. And now you can see the blue line going back up. So we're trending, the market is trending back up again. Go ahead, turn the page. So some of these communities, it's pretty unbelievable at how low the inventory is getting. So if you're working in West Lynn and we look at 2017 October, and look at 2018 October, and we look at 2019 October, and we look at where we are today, basically in 30 days, you can see that we are going to be at less than 75 homes available for sale in West Lynn. And that compares with, in the peak, close to 175. We would be down 100 opportunities to sell in the winter, and it may go lower than that. Okay, go ahead, next one. All right, so here's Beaverton. Let me use a bigger line. In Beaverton, you can see what's going on with pricing. So if I was having a conversation with a buyer that said, should we buy a home right now? I would be saying to them, well, if interest rates stay down, your affordability is going to get worse and worse and worse. Here's what's been happening in the last 3 years. And it's a pretty consistent trend. You can see the seasonality, right? So if you see in terms of pricing, here's October, here's October, here's October, and here's October. So look at what's going on with the prices now that we're getting down close to 3. Let's go to the next page. So here's inventory. So remember in October of 2017 and then October of 18, wow, for some reason in October of 19, we had more inventory. Holy heck, where are we going into this winter? Okay, so if you would normally expect that we would have more inventory than this in October. Compared to last year we were at, if you draw a line over, about 325 units, and it looks like we are probably going to be down at about 125, 150 units. Sorry, this is so sloppy, but my arrow is not. So does this suggest, we'll keep going, does this suggest the need for listings, right? If you have buyers, how hard do you think it will be to find a home in all of Beaverton? Because this is all price points. So go ahead, the next one. All right. Okay, here we go. So here's Sherwood. So look at what's going on in Sherwood. The median price is dropping. Why in the heck is median price dropping? Well, if we look at last year in the summer, and we look at the year before in the summer, and if you keep going back, it behaves the same way. Here, though, we had the highest price in Sherwood that we've had. Now the prices are going down. So why would the median prices be going down? Well, that could be that the number of very expensive homes is dropping. So if you look down below in trying to understand the Altos maps, here's your stuff under 500, the red line. You can see that it's going up, right? It's been going up pretty steadily since the fall of, well, actually, let's say this year, January. But look at what's happening in the upper end of Sherwood. It's going down. And so the median price is going down. That does not mean it's easier to sell a $400,000 home in Sherwood. It's actually getting harder to sell a $400,000 home in Sherwood. The next page will make clear what's happening. Go ahead. Okay, so let's look at what happens when there's no inventory. So we saw the median price go down. That's because the number of homes that are being sold in the upper end are dropping. And so it's driving the median price down, not the average price, the median price. Let's look at Sherwood. So in all of Sherwood in 2017, we had nearly 100 units, probably 95. And then in 18, it was probably 85. And then in 17, it was probably 75-ish. And look where we are today. Look at the 1 week line right there. What is that number? This means probably last week or 2 weeks ago, or at some time in August, the number of listings for sale in all of the city of Sherwood dropped below 30. When it's been running in the 80s. So that's a significant drop. Next page.
Oh, Dwight's probably getting a call.
Sorry, you're right. I got a call. All right, hang on.
But maybe we should stop here just for the sake of time and talk a little bit more about the significance to our buyers and sellers and listings and the competitiveness of listings and what a little bit more of like what it means.
Well, okay, so let me take 1 minute and go through the last few here. So next page, this is Tigard inventory. Next page, Austin. Look at Tigard inventory. Let's go to the next page. Tualatin, let's go to the next page. Here's Tualatin inventory. I think this is the last one. Go one more. Do we have Wilsonville? There we go. Okay, so the second page, one more. All right, look at Wilsonville. Do you guys see a pattern? So the pattern is, if I'm a seller and I'm thinking about selling, in fact, I just had this conversation with one of our sellers who has a home that's about $1 million. And he said, should I just wait until next spring? And I'm saying, okay, wait. Why wouldn't you come on the market when there's no competition? you'll have one of the few homes to buy. And think about the people that are moving to Portland from some of the larger, more dense cities like New York and California. We're already seeing that right now, right? So this would be the absolute best time to put your home on the market going into the winter, and the interest rates are going down. And so if I'm having a buyer conversation and I'm showing them this, I'd be saying, hey, you better take advantage of these interest rates right now. The inventory is going down. We don't have as many choices as we did, but this is the best we have right now with interest rates in history. So let's go see if we can find something that will work. And I would get every buyer out and I would just start watching and watching. We could be in a situation, remember the inventory tends to drop in the winter anyway. So if we look at our lows. So our low, who knows what our low is going to be in these communities. So keep this in mind for your planning. You need to double down on all your touch campaigns. You need to double down on your phone calling. You need to be sharing with people what's going on with prices. And with anyone that you've had a conversation with that's thinking about selling, you need to show them these charts to say, hey, wouldn't it be amazing if you could be one of 30 homes or 40 or 50 homes for sale in your entire city? It's not been, we've never seen that in our career. I have never in 40 years seen the inventory this low.
Right.
So there you go. How's that?
Awesome. So yeah, if you have sellers that have even thought about selling, drive that urgency, right? And so Dwight pays for the Altos so he can get his name on the top, but we can all get them for free from any of our title friends. So that's a tool that everyone can use. But now is the time to create that urgency. Same lines as Mega Camp, right? We have to keep pushing hard right now and keep getting that momentum with our buyers and sellers, because we don't know what's ahead. But right now, we know that that's a really good reason for sellers to get on the market. So awesome, Dwight. Thank you as always. Does anyone have any questions for Dwight before we wrap it up? Awesome. All right, everyone. Well, have a wonderful day and a great week.
Yep. Have a safe Labor Day weekend,
Yes.
everybody.
Oh my gosh. Labor Day weekend.
By the way, we're closed on Monday.
Yes.
Just in case you're looking for us, we're going to be off. So.
Thank you.
Bye, guys. Bye.